Hey everybody, welcome to our second Code Untapped Tech Chat. We have myself, Ez, and my co-founder, Jay. Jay, do you want to say a quick hello?
Hey guys.
Jason, always, what's the word? You don't put yourself too forward, do you?
No, mate.
You're staying very quiet today, man. What's going on over there? You got
No,
nervous for the second one.
I'm sure I'll speak up later. You know me.
Okay, all right, no worries, no worries. Okay, and today we have our special guest, which is Kennedy Mashanda. Kennedy, do you want to say hello?
Hello, everybody out there code untapped. Hope you're coding away and enjoying, lockdown kind of coming to an end.
Brilliant. So for those of you who don't know, Code Untapped, a digital skills accelerator founded by myself and Jason, with the sole aim of identifying, upskilling, and placing diverse technology talent. This tech series is an opportunity for us to talk all things technology, startups, entrepreneurship, and just try to engage more with our community about those important subjects that we feel are worth speaking about. So today, we're here to talk a little bit about the journey from attendee to employee to founder. And we want to talk a little bit about young Kennedy's journey and how he experienced things with us. So Kennedy, you joined us at Code Untapped. Talk to us a little bit about how you found out about us and what that's meant to you.
So first, let me give a bit of a background in terms of my education. I studied in Zimbabwe. I was actually kicked off to boarding school around 2009. And then I did my high school for 6 years, came to the UK 2016 and started focusing on university. But when I came to the UK, I was more of a, shall I say, an indoor kind of person. So I'd just do my thing, game, stay with my friends. I didn't know like going out, learning that kind of thing. And it came to the point where, you start looking for internships and stuff like that. I was applying for internships. So I had to push myself outside my comfort zone and start to look for new, different opportunities. And that's how I, saw Meetup. Then there was Code Untapped. There was the focus on being, community. And it kind of clicked with me. Decided to try one event, and surprisingly, it was free. So I was like,
yeah,
all right.
That was always the biggest challenge. We wanted to try and charge for some of those events, but no one would pay for it. How did you find it when you came to that first one? I think there must have been, it was a pretty well attended event, that one, wasn't it? It must have been about 30 odd people.
Yeah, it was incredible. Like it was welcoming. I would say that's the first part. Because I think I was like at the door or something, and then I had to call Jason to get an access code or something. But it was
those
smooth.
first ones were a bit of a nightmare. I mean, we had to have multiple people dotted around the place to guide people into the building, and man, it was a challenge. So Jay, I mean, what were your memories of those early events that we did, and do you remember when Kennedy joined us?
I do remember when Kennedy joined. Actually, he had. It was interesting because Kennedy is quite a bubbly person. He's quite, outgoing person, and you saw that immediately with his personality. And so he didn't have any problems, I think, expressing himself, which was really good. So he was asking loads of questions and stuff, and I think that's what pushed him. Because I remember those early events, we used to split people into teams. And then in those teams, the individuals had particular roles. So you had people that were focused on development, you had like the ideation analyst type people, and then you had individuals who were going to take the lead in doing the actual presentation. And with Kennedy's personality, you knew where he was going to sit, and you knew what he would.
That might have been lead, I think, would have been where Kennedy ended up.
Yeah. So you knew that Kennedy was he's not gonna be, he's gonna be first to stand up and make his case and present. And that was really refreshing, because I think it really gave the other cohorts, the other cohort individuals, it gave them confidence, because they saw the confidence confidence in Kennedy, and they saw that, you know, it was his first time, and he was able to express himself in a way that, you know, people just took to him. So it was really, really good. And that's, I think, and that's a difficult thing, because it's one of the things that, you know, especially individuals of, you know, when we feel like we're in a minority in a particular organization, yeah, or a particular scene or setting, that we feel that we need to, you know, hang back and be within ourselves. But actually, that's probably the time to show who you are and show your difference and show what you have to bring to the table. So, you know, it was interesting. Kennedy's an interesting guy.
No, you know what, I remember, because obviously at the end of one of our hackathon days, every team has to pitch, and Kennedy was pitching, and they only have 3 minutes to do the pitch. And I still remember Kennedy finishing bang on 3 minutes with his pitch, and all the judges were just like, wow. every judge was just blown away by the quality of the pitch, and it was just like, wow, this kid's something. Actually, this is really impressive stuff. And to have been able to put such a quality pitch together in such a short period of time, and then deliver it as well, was amazing. But I think you came to a couple of our events, didn't you, Kennedy, as an attendee? And then at some point, Jason and I thought Kennedy should be a coach for the team. He shouldn't just be an attendee. We need people like with Kennedy's caliber actually on the team, helping support other attendees who are coming through. Kennedy, how did it feel for you when we asked you to be a coach? I mean, was there anything going through your mind when we said that?
I was thinking, like, why didn't you ask me sooner?
And there's that confidence, right? Fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You see, it's that confidence that we liked, and it was interesting because we had a selection of coaches, and so when we had our innovation labs, it was innovation labs.
I think we were calling it Hackathon Plus Plus.
Hackathon Plus.
We called it Hackathon, then Hackathon Plus, then Hackathon Plus Plus. We kept changing the name, right?
But they had so we had really like 3 sort of major areas that we were focusing on. So we were focusing on like the coding discipline. We were focusing on like the ideation part, and then we were also focusing on, you know, the individual that would put it all together into the pitch and deliver the pitch at the end of the day. And we started to accumulate coaches that were mostly focused definitely in either the ideation space and the coding space, but we didn't really have people. It was interesting that coders or people from that technical sort of background didn't feel comfortable in putting themselves forward for, you know, the lead pitching person or pitching individual. So it was interesting that Kennedy came on as a coach, and he naturally went into that area, which was good. And you took him under your wing, didn't you, Ez? So
well, yeah, exactly. So Kennedy, I think when you became a coach with us, we then got you were focusing on some other areas at the same time. Can you talk to us a little bit about some project ARIES that you've been working on, and tell us a little bit about why that was so important to you?
So for me, ARIES was kind of like, I had come from university, right? And going through that challenge of looking for internships and placement, I swear, like, I literally had a folder in my Google Drive called The Graveyard of just rejections and rejections. And it pushed me harder to start thinking, like, why is it my CV, right? I had like high grades, everything, right? However, I wasn't being able to get just an entry-level job. And it kind of made me think and look at the school system.
Kennedy, would you mind telling us a little bit about some of those rejections? What type of companies were you applying to?
So the very first ones were like Airbus, Land Rover, Range Rover, all the top dogs, and doing the online applications. Then halfway through, I kind of learned that it's a waste of time to do online applications because people can't, like Jason was saying, like your confidence, your enthusiasm, they can't see that.
Right.
And so I switched my game.
Tell me a little bit about that. So what was the next step then?
The next step, going in person. So like the university, they'll do like in-person careers events. So I
Right.
started like watching YouTube videos, how to like present yourself, how to do your CV, as always like in person.
Mhm.
So in the end, I had about 2, 3 companies. Like one of them
Okay.
even actually wanted me to quit uni
Wow.
because this experience, it had transformed me, and I was like, go, go. I think the changing point at that point was, I remember there was this lady from this company, French aerospace company,
Mhm.
and I had this ache in my heart to always want to like explore being an astronaut or something like that, right?
Right. Okay.
But I started doing some research. For someone from my background, I was Zimbabwean, not even European, not even American. The chances of accomplishing that goal were like 0.0001%.
Wow. Okay.
I went to an interview with this lady. I shared with her some of my dreams, and she believed me.
Wow.
That's powerful. How'd that make you feel when that happened?
It motivated me, made me feel confident. And fun fact is, I actually didn't get the job because the director of the company was like, when you build something for yourself, no one can take that away from you.
Yeah.
And that was the whole start of ARIES VR, shall we say.
So at that point, you decided, you know what, I'm not going to go through this. I'm not going to keep trying to get into these big companies at this stage. I'm just going to go it alone and build something myself.
Yeah.
So tell us about ARIES VR. What was it?
So ARIES actually started as it was me and my friend. We started a virtual reality startup, shall we say. The idea was that within universities, right? I think I did like 5 hours of hands-on experience. We maybe built like a toolbox, and that was it.
And
And
this was all with coding, all your coding skills from university. What was your degree again? Sorry.
Oh, aerospace engineering with pilot
Aerospace
studies.
engineering. Nice. Fantastic.
Yeah. So we were learning to become aerospace engineers, but no practical at all. And so I saw that with virtual reality, you could practice like anywhere. You could be like in Africa, for example, learn how to make a windmill. And now everyone has access to those skills. And that's how I started kind of working on the startup. But, you know, in startup world, you got to pivot. I was going out to the clients, and I was getting strong indications that aviation is the direction I should move in.
Right.
And since I had that domain expertise, I should focus on that. So I started teaching myself VR development from scratch. And
you taught yourself how to code in VR.
Yeah.
no lessons, no nothing. You just taught yourself.
Well, YouTube pretty much.
But that's amazing. Tell me a little bit about, you know, was this all whilst you were working from home? Did you have a job? Was this at university? How did you power your life as you were trying to build this idea?
So this was actually I was transitioning from the end of my second year to my final year. And this was all happening as I was starting to do my final dissertation, all that kind of stuff. It was very, shall I say, emotional and exhilarating time at the same time, because my first startup actually failed due to co-founder dynamics.
So you were trying to build a startup before ARIES?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay.
This was the one where we were just trying to do VR learning for everything.
Okay. So VR and learning has been a passion of yours for some time, right?
Yes. Yeah. It was oh yeah, go on, Jay.
Oh, I was
go on, Jay. What were you going to say, mate?
Well, I love Kennedy's passion. So for me, tell us a bit more about your passion in particular. I mean, you talked about you wanted to bring practical engineering to the masses, essentially. So tell us a bit more about that and the driving, the things that led you to want to do that, and the things that drive you on. Yeah.
It was, I would say, pretty much that experience where if you come from, like, let's say, a shall I say, European background, right? It's go to school, get extremely high grades, get a fancy degree, get a fancy title, shall we say, like doctor, accountant, or lawyer, or engineer, and that's it.
Right.
But here's the problem. And like, for example, I was born and raised in Zimbabwe, right? In Zimbabwe, all we know is theoretical. We have no practical skills. I remember I had the idea, what's this robot vacuum thing?
Oh, Roomba.
Yeah, exactly. In my second year of high school, I had the idea of creating a Roomba, but I couldn't because I didn't have the resources. I didn't even know where to start from, how to do it. And so I think it's that experience which carried with me to university, and then experiencing the frustration that having A pluses won't get me a job. It's being able to create something that gets you a job.
Right.
I love that. Yeah.
So I'd love to know a little bit more about, that journey from having this idea. You've come to a Code Untapped event now. You've got this percolating in the background. You've now left university at this time. What was the next step for you, right? What value did being a coach at Code Untapped bring to what you're doing here? And then what did you do next to take ARIES forward?
So in terms of Code Untapped, my hopes were, shall I say, looking for work on a basic, but what I went there and what I found was something greater. So like it was the passion you guys had, like everyone, where everyone was volunteering, and it was all towards, shall I say, a greater purpose. And so that was like one of the first things. And then I also started to meet like as Jason, Chris, Corinne, and everyone. The experience they had, like I remember afterwards we went to drinks or something, and I was hearing like
this was all pre-COVID, by the way, if you're listening. This was all pre-COVID.
And I was hearing like the stuff you guys were working on, and just like taking it all in. And it just made sense for me to surround myself with you lot, because I kind of just learned the life lesson that pick your friends carefully. And so it just made sense for me to surround myself with people, like you guys.
That's amazing. Thank you. And we love the fact that you've been able to be such a valuable member of the team. But you've taken it a step further, right? So you were a volunteer coach for us, but then you mentioned you were looking for employment, didn't you? And you then joined Code Untapped Partners, our partner organization, as an employee for a period of time. How was that?
So it was a lifesaver, because this might be a question maybe some of the audience might have, like if you're starting a startup, you're a recent graduate, should you get a job, or should you just pour your time 100% into a startup?
You know what, before you say it, I think that's a great question for another poll. That absolutely should go up as another poll. But sorry, Kennedy, back to you, mate.
Yeah. Anyways, it was very difficult because you are chasing grants, you're trying to go get to investors, and you're doing the whole roundabout thing. And at the end of the day, I was like, the company was broke. I was living on universal credit, and that was barely just enough to pay bills. So I definitely needed some more work. And I would say I was recognizing a lack in my skill set, which was probably why I wasn't moving forward in the case of like getting a client or getting the investment, which is sales. And then as you offered me the opportunity to help out as a sales engineer, and I grabbed it.
And then, so talk to me a little bit about, what has that then meant for you, and where is ARIES VR today?
So for me, I remember like, so that was when you and Code Untapped and Mindscape, right? They were just measuring. And so I was given a responsibility to help the smooth transition, especially on the tech side. I think we lost Jason.
No, Jason's still here.
Oh,
he's just immersed in your story, Kennedy, as I'm sure everyone listening is, because it's such an incredible journey that you've been on. But yeah, so please do tell us.
So being able to like get such an important role to facilitate the seamless transition, it was really like helpful and insightful. This was like, I'm thinking of just like, oh, I want to get my startup from just 0 to 1. And this was like trying to get company A and company B to become AB. It was like such a big jump, And it was fun because I'm a techie. I love tech. Being able to help everyone, like, for example, changing domains. And I learned so much about what it takes to facilitate a sell. It's not just you go up to somebody, you talk, you persuade them to buy your product. You need to have, shall we say, the pipeline, the system behind to facilitate that transaction, shall we say.
Right.
And I learned how to create that system.
And so I just want to get to, where is it that you are now with ARIES VR, because you're doing some pretty big things at this moment in time, right? So, because I think you've gone from being, a student in Zimbabwe, you've come over to the UK, you've graduated, you were struggling to get into some of these, tier 1 organizations. You decided to go it alone. You started working with us. And now, where is ARIES now?
What's the key thing in front of you right today? As is digging.
I am. I want to hear it. Come on, keep going. Everyone wants to know.
So right now, I'm about to close my pre-seed round, and we're looking about 150,000 pound seeker.
Well done, Kennedy. I know it's a slightly premature clap, but I just wanted you to say it, because that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And how is that going?
It's going incredible. It was hard, I would not lie, because it wasn't a walk in the park as I thought it was gonna be. And I guess at the same time, it's quite exhilarating because the angel investor is somebody who just exited out of a startup. So they're very empathetic to my co-founder and I. Oh yeah, also now I have a co-founder.
Well done.
They are very empathetic to what we're going through. They've been through it. So it's less of a, shall we say, fierce negotiation and more of a discussion. They love the journey, they love the vision, they also have the expertise, the connections. On top of that, though, they are very thorough. So kind of like preparing us for like VC investment and stuff like that. But they're very thorough. Like I've done like 15-page business plan, 3-year cash flow focus.
Didn't I tell you might need those things? As part of the incubator Code Untapped, I think that's one of the things I advised you on. But look, Kennedy, this has been absolutely incredible. We haven't got much time left because it's only a 30-minute chat and there's so much we could cover. I think we did a couple of polls on LinkedIn, as we do every week, and I think some of them are really key. I just want to discuss quickly some of our thoughts around that. One of the questions was, do you think having more remote positions within the tech industry will make it easier to find a role? 30 votes we got on this one. 83% said yes, 17% said no, right? So a lot of people out there think remote working has been critical to finding tech roles. Kennedy, given your journey, going from university, having to find a job, trying to bootstrap a startup, how important has remote working been to you, the ability to remote work anywhere, work from home?
It's essential. I'd say it's the foundation of the startup, and I want to like scale it up because, for example, with Code Untapped, this was something I actually didn't see coming. I was able to work part-time and as well as work on my startup or at home. So it allows me to dynamically manage my time and my priorities. And that was awesome. That was really awesome.
Well, and then the last question I'm going to cover just before I get told that we're done on time, and this is to both of you guys. You know, we did a poll on, do you think coding should be made a part of the curriculum? And I think it is, but you know, in some schools it is, some it's not. 91% of our audience said yes. Jay, Kennedy, how important do you think it is that kids learn to code? And why is that?
I'll give it to Jay first.
Go on, Jay, come on.
Oh, right, that's a difficult one. No, it's not a difficult one actually. And my answer to that is that I believe there's no business out there now, that doesn't rely, on technology in some part to provide the product or service that they provide. There is no business out there. So it's if technology is integral in providing that product or service, if you're starting your career or starting your, if you're starting your career or you're going into higher education, you're going to need to understand technology, because the job that you will get will have some component of technology in it. And so it is fundamental, just like reading and writing, that you're going to have to understand how this technology is put together. And so that's my answer, really. That's my answer to it. It's a core part of everything that people do, in this day and age, in our present day. So it needs to be up there with reading, writing, and coding. That's just my answer to that.
And Kennedy, you've just recently come out of university, so this is a subject that's pretty close to your heart. You taught yourself how to code in VR. What do you think? Do you think all school kids should learn to code, and why?
I think it should be fundamental. It should be in the curriculum of every school. The main reason why is coding, right? Especially the way the future is going, right? Everything's now technological. I believe coding allows you to understand how technology around us works and be able to protect ourselves, whether it's data privacy or stuff like that, but also to be more productive. So quick little example, one of our final year projects was we had to design a regional aircraft, 100-seater. We had different roles, And actually, simple example, we all had an assignment where we needed to extract data, right? And do some fancy calculations and graphs. But to prevent people from cheating, the professor had locked the cells. So you had to copy about 100 numbers, not copy, manually do data entry of 100 digits. And I was able to, just through basic visual, basic programming, to just go in, use the Visual Basic to extract the data behind the sheet, copy it all, and paste it somewhere I can access it.
Wow. Okay. So that was some data manipulation that you were doing there.
Yeah. And I was able to save 30 minutes.
So this is interesting. I mean, I know that we've had discussions recently with some organizations around digital upskilling and transformation of their operational staff and stuff like this. And this is one of the areas where actually even basic scripting skills can really advance, can really remove a lot of inefficiencies in organizations. So
absolutely.
I know we're running out of time, but there's just a few questions that I would just like to ask Kennedy, because, it's amazing your journey to this point now. But I just wanted to find out, what's your future roadmap? What does the future lie for ARIES VR?
To be honest, ARIES VR, I would say it's my baby, and I want to take it as far as possible. So we're talking New York Stock Exchange, IPO, that kind of level. Education to the masses. I don't know if everyone has watched Ready Player One or read the book. Actually.
Love that movie, and I've read the book. It's fantastic.
The book, exactly. Within the book, there's an educational system where every single person or child has a free VR headset provided by the government, which gives them to a virtual school. where they can connect with the other students. That's the goal.
Wow.
That's powerful, man. And you know, I'm a massive believer in the power of technology. I think every human has access to, you know, you've all got a mobile phone. You have access to the entire history of, or an entire repository of human knowledge. It might be that most of us use it for watching cat videos and, you know, people playing video games, but you know what? We have the ability to gain access to all of that knowledge. So the future is limitless as far as I'm concerned. All right, guys, I think we're just about done for our second Code Untapped Tech Talk. Thank you so much, Kennedy, for participating and telling us your incredible story. And we continue to watch, we continue to support and advise, and we're very excited about what the future holds for you. Any final words from UK?
Looking forward to having Jason in as official advisors.
Fantastic.
Of ARIES, yeah.
Fantastic. And we are happy to be that. Jay, any words from you?
Guys, I just want to say, just until we meet again in our next podcast, keep coding.
Fantastic. And don't forget to check out the Code Untapped LinkedIn page where you'll find our next set of polls. Maybe leave a comment and we'll mention you in our next chat. Maybe we'll even get you to feature on it and we'll talk to you a little bit about what you guys have been up to. All right. So that's very good. Great session. Thank you very much. Thank you, Kennedy. Thank you, Jason. It's goodbye from us. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.